So we started with date and time formatting. After that, conditional formatting. What else? Freezing concept. Changing data types. So there was a question which I gave as a homework in the last class. Let's say values. So we have 1, 2, 3. Let's say 1,20,000. Then let's say 12 million. Not 12 million, 1.2 million. So 12 lakh. 12,000, 1 lakh, 1,000, 12 lakh. And let's say 1 billion. What I need to do, I need to show this into thousands, this one into million, and this one into billion, and this one as it is. Right? Okay. How can I approach this problem? Conditional formatting. Yeah. After that, new rule or manage rule. Let's say I define a new rule. What to do now? Formula which sells to format. Okay. What now?
Formula only cells that
Format only cell that will highlight.
yeah. From this we can also
That contains, right? So that will be specifically for cell value between this and this.
no greater than 1,000 you can take.
Okay, let's say if I take greater than 1,000, I should say greater than 999 format. Now what?
Now go to number and after that customer we can apply
Custom, and I can apply this. So it should be what? The number as it is? 0. Then
no, you can apply the formula. Here you can represent value less than 1 lakh.
सर वो जो नॉर्मल फॉर्मूला यूज किया था 1 बिलियन 1 बिलियन वाला सही है ना 999
you are saying greater than 999.
Yes. The formula you can apply the last.
1 second, greater than 999. It should not be greater than 999 first of all. It should be
Greater than 1,000.
let's say you're saying format. Now what is the formula?
Less than one
less than 1
Greater than equals to 1 billion. Then 0.0 3 commas and sorry B. Else
less than equal to 1
greater than equals to 1 million. Then 0.0, let's say 2 commas, and display that into what? Else 0.0 comma k. Okay. I have written 0.0 comma k. Okay. Done. Okay. Apply. Converted correctly, right? But let's say if you have not 4, 5 conditions, then no, you don't have a else part in that. Then what will you do? If you have one more condition over here, Right? So in that case, what you can do is, let me tell you. You can define equals to, if this cell, I will remove dollar from the row number and I will say greater than equals to one, let's say either in increasing order of cutoff or decreasing order of cutoff. This is which order of cutoff I am following? Decreasing order of cutoff. 1 billion, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Format, custom. What I need to do, 0.0 triple commas into, and then I need to write billion. That's it. Done. Converted. Next, new rule. Again, I'll say now this thing greater than equals to what? 1 million, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think these guys are not able to see this online. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And format, this should be what? 0.0 and double comma, and I will say M because I'm dividing by 1 million. Okay. So this is the second rule which is added. When I apply this, what is happening? This is also changing. So I need to apply this in basically some order. So I will say basically this should be the first and this should be the second. Now if I apply this, is it correct? Similarly, I can add one more rule. If the value is, let's say this cell value is greater than equals to 1000, format and display that value in thousands, 0.0 comma k. So if you have n number of conditions, this is how you can define your formula and apply the formatting. Obviously, this has to get the last. Apply, done. Clear? Any query in this question?
I have one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did this because we had like 4 values. But what if we have like many values? Then do we have to do
We
it like
did this
one?
when we had 3 conditions and one was the
Yeah.
alpha. Right? So if
Yeah.
we have like say even 10 conditions, 20 conditions, doesn't matter. You can still go with this one.
Okay. But if we have more than,
If we have more than what?
if we have more than 20 or 30
It doesn't
well,
matter. Even if you have more than 4 conditions, you can still go with this approach.
okay. I just want to confirm, is there any other approach other than this? Like,
Any other approach other than this means for the formatting, custom formatting?
yeah. Like customer one.
See, here I'm just using the formula over here. I'm not applying any, I'm not highlighting any cell over here. If you want to highlight, that can be done using conditional formatting. But if I just want to change the appearance of the value, I'm using custom formatting. For that, I'm defining my formulas in conditional formatting because the limitation of custom formatting is that you cannot have more than 2 conditions.
Yeah. Okay.
More data, more conditions. Generally, you won't have 100 conditions in real life, right? It will be either max 8 to 10, max you can go with. And you were passing here condition by using the formula. That you cannot have more than 2 conditions. But let's say if this limitation was not here, still you had to write those conditions, right? In the formula, in the square brackets. So you're doing the same thing in the formula tab over here in conditional formatting. So I've defined 3 conditions over here. and the fourth one is yeah. Okay, so if you have because I can add as many rules as I want over here. Right? If I say okay, I mean I've done nothing over here, but I can add as many rules I want over here. So currently I've defined 3 rules. Clear? Online guys.
सर एक बार फिर से रिपीट कर दोगे ये?
This one.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do anything over here, just conditional formatting, manage rules. So I have just defined a new rule. So let's if I go to edit rule. Then I have selected this one, use a formula to determine which cells I want to format. So I've given a condition over here. So first I have done what? I have selected this cell, first cell, and I've removed $sign from the row number because I don't want my row to be freezed. It has to be basically what weight it will do. First it will check for J11, then it will check for J12, then J13, J14 like that. So this condition, whichever cell will satisfy this criteria, I am saying apply this number formatting on that particular cell value. Clear? Similarly, in this case, in case of million, I am saying ki if the cell value is greater than 1 equals to 1 million, just show the value, basically apply the formatting on the cell. Whatever custom formula we have learned. I've written the same formula. It's just that in the formula, not in the custom formatting section. I'm giving my formula over here in the formula section. It starts with
सर
equals.
तो व्हाट इज डिफरेंट बिटवीन जो आपने पहले बताया था, ठीक है, कि उसको मतलब आप कर सकते हो कि और मतलब जो पूरा रूल था ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू, और फिर अभी इसमें आप जो अप्लाई किए हो, तो फिर दोनों में डिफरेंस?
ये वाला की बात कर रहा हूँ.
हाँ, एक पहला ये, और फिर एक और था ना अभी जो आप स्टार्टिंग बताए थे, ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू करके फिर वो बिलियन होगा, फिर मिलियन होगा, राइट?
हाँ, तो उसकी तो लिमिटेशन नहीं है ना कि एट मैक्स अगर आप कंट्रोल 1 में डायरेक्ट जाते हो, राइट? इसकी लिमिटेशन क्या है? एट मैक्स you can have how many conditions? 2. The third will be the else part.
जी.
It's a limitation. In order to I'm using this alternative,
ओके ओके.
right? Clear now? Offline guys, clear? Anyone having still any query regarding this? No? Okay. And one more homework I gave you. Has anyone tried that? Guys?
Do you think it's the way 491 maximum limit?
Yes, but नहीं आया उसका समझ.
Okay, so I'll tell you now. What happens is, okay. In case of percentage in data bars, what it does is, whatever the minimum value is, it will consider that value as 0%. Whatever the maximum value is, it will consider that value as 100%. Now, how this calculation is performed is that whatever formula you gave was correct. So it is basically cell value minus minimum value, then max value minus divided by max value minus min value, which will give you the percentage. So now these numbers are correct, which are correctly showing the bar size. Here the data bars are plotted in proportions. So how this is how these proportions are calculated, right? Now how this calculation is different from the percentile part. So this is what percentile does is, percentile method uses the percent rank method to achieve the proportion in order to display the bar size. So what it will do is, first it will give the rankings. Let's say 103 is first and whatever 491 will be the last rank. Then what it will do is, So the formula for this one is it is simply whatever the rank of, let's say x is the value minus 1 upon n minus 1. N is the total number of values. So I have 10 values. So it will be what? Rank of x, let's say whatever the rank of this one is. 103. का rank क्या है? 1. 1 minus 1 upon 10 minus 1 is what? 0%. So the bar size will differ when you are doing, when you're plotting the data bars using the percentile method or the percentage method. But this is how the calculation is performed in the backend. Let me write the formula also. So what I have done, let's say percent rank, or what you can do, you direct have a function also, which is percent rank. Yeah, percent rank, you direct have a function. Just give the range, and this is the cell value, which will give you the percentage. So let me write the formula, percentile, percent rank formula, or percentile rank. So it will be rank of, so let me should say, so rank of value x minus 1 divided by n minus 1, where n equals to total number of values. Yeah, so this is the basically percentile method, how it is calculating percentage using the percentile method, and this one is the percentage calculation. So this percentage calculation is specific to how data bars are plotted. Clear? Let me give you the percentage wala formula also. So cell value minus min value then divided by max minus min. Okay. Where min value is considered 0%, and max value is 100%. Yeah, now tell me any doubt in this part, how the basically data bar size are size of the data bar is decided.
Definition was 100% correct. Maximum minimum.
We can, so max is considered as 100% in terms of data bars I'm telling. So 491 is 100% and 103 is 0%.
The data you have to change the calculation is change.
So whatever the maximum value will be, that's what I've written. Max value is 100%. Whichever maximum value is in that particular range, that will be 100%. Right? Online guys, any query regarding this?
परसेंट रैंक का सिस्टम समझ नहीं आया है, एक बार ये फिर
Percent
से
rank
बता
is
दो।
nothing. Let's say this is my so I think I've done it somewhere. Let me check. Yeah. So let's say what I have done. I have sorted this. I have given the rankings. Right. Now this is what I have done. Cell value, which is one rank of this 1 minus 1 divided by n minus 1. N is what? How many values are there? 10. So what is the percentage I'm getting?
0.
0. It is 11%, 22%. Let me convert this into percentage. Yeah. And this is how the bar sizes are also depicted.
Hmm.
So basically, the percentile method is using rank to convert into the percentage. But if you see, my percentage will differ. So let's say if I say to 178, it is 11%. And if I check for 178 somewhere, it is 19%. So my bar size will differ based on percentile method and percentage method. Rank of value X. So let's say this is what is the rank of this one? 1. Right? And so 1 minus 1 divided by 10 minus 1, that will be 0. Just the backend calculation. So like if you just don't have to do anything, you just have to use the default functionalities available in the database. Right? Clear?
So is there any inbuilt formula to percent rank?
Yeah, we have a percent rank function. So I have done that only, percent rank. The same, I'm getting the same 11%. So we have a percent rank function which you can use, which will give you the same output.
So Ashish, is this something which is like morphing the values? Like we are doing the calculations on morphed values rather than the actual values?
So we are, in case of the percent rank you're talking about, like
Yes.
this percentile. So what we are
Yes.
getting is, yes. So we are basically performing the calculation of the ranks on the ranks,
Not on the actual values.
not on the actual values.
Okay.
In case of percentile.
In
And we
case
are
of
performing the
percentage.
calculation on actual values in case of percentage.
Okay. Thank you.
Guys, let me know any queries. Clear? Can I move on? Yes or no? And so the next thing that we're going to look at is subsetting and filtering. Now tell me which one happens on the columns and which one happens on the rows. Filtering happens on the
Columns.
columns. Subsetting happens on the
Rows.
rows. Okay. So let's say if I say Control Shift L, that's a shortcut. If I am saying ki filter only for the agent 1. So that means ki I should be only be able to see this column, right? This is filtering. But what I'm able to see? I'm able to see the other data as well. I'm able to see the entire row for agent 1. This is filtering. So filtering happens on rows or columns? Rows. What is happening when I'm doing filtering? I'm able to see the entire row for all the rows for agent 1. Subsetting happens on the columns. Be very clear with that.
Yes. Yes. Correct.
Filtering is for rows, I should say. and subsetting is for columns. Okay. So let's say what subsetting is basically, from the entire data, I will just display those columns which I want to display in the output, right? Let's say I just want to display wireless, whatever this number is. Along with this, I want to display how many, 1, 2, 3, let's whatever it is. I want to display the item description or duration, let's say. Okay. So what has happened over here, among the all the columns which were present, I'm only displaying how many columns? 2 columns in the output. So this is known as what? Subsetting. So based on the requirement, whatever columns you want to display in the output, that is subsetting. Now, in case of filtering, so filtering is of 2 types. If I talk about the filtering is of 2 types. First one is text. Second one is numeric or number filters. We'll see both of these. Now the shortcut for filtering is Ctrl+Shift+L.
We have color filtering as well, na?
Color filtering means?
So we can filter by colors, color of the cells.
Yes, we can do that. Shortcut for filtering. Ctrl+Shift+L. That's the shortcut. Ctrl+Shift+L. Now what I'm doing, let's say I'm just selecting this agent ID, and now what I will do, I will just press Ctrl+Shift+L. You will be able to see the drop downs. If I drop this now this is what kind of column? Agent ID is what kind of column? Categorical. So this basically whatever options I will have for this column, it will be text filtering options. Okay. Now what I can do is simply I can either filter it manually from here by selecting it like this, or what I can do, so I have all these options available with me. So in the text filters, I say equals to, and equals to what I want to filter. Let's say agent 1. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Then next option I have does not equals to. So when I say does not equals to and I say agent 1, what? Yeah. So every agent, like except agent 1, I'll be able to see all other agents in the output, right? So I have all other agents in the output except agent 1. That's does not equals to. Then you can clear the filter from here. Begins with. Okay, begins with. So I should say begins with over here in the item description. Begins with. So it is saying ki just whatever I will say. Let's say I will say A. So it will give me all those item descriptions which starts with A. So let's say okay. So I'm able to see accessory single, accessory double, all those item descriptions which starts with A. Or any pattern you can give. Let's say begins with, and instead of A, I'm saying A double C. So it should start with A double C, and you'll be able to see accessory single and double only in the output.
Sir, you're filtering for double velocity.
Double में means
Accessory double velocity है उसमें हम D पे लगा सकते हैं ताकि वो accessory double उनकी ना select करे.
accessory double select ना करे.
एक्सेसरी डबल में ए या फिर एक्सेसरी का एसीसी नहीं देंगे
हाँ.
डबल का टी अलग में लिखेंगे तो क्या वो ना फिल्टर कर पाए?
So that should have contains.
और में जाके हम लोग
और में जाके you can say, तो यहाँ पे begins with है ना ये, तो this won't work.
All the deeds. It's not even tried.
Begins with won't work. Begins with means that the starting characters of that particular text. That is a single text. Your name is whatever, like first name, last name, that's a single text. So starting character will be taken in begins with. Okay. You can go with some other option over here. Let's say this is, let me clear this one. Then we have ends with. So let's say ends with E and R. So this is the only category with ends with ER. Again, clear this one. Then I have contains. So what you were saying key should contain double, right? So it will only show me accessory double in the output. Contains means ki this particular pattern should can be present either at the starting or in middle or at the end, anywhere in that particular text. So you can go with contains in that case. Then we have does not contain, like if you don't want any double, so you can say, so whatever you'll mention over here, except that all other will appear. And then we have custom filter. So this is like pattern mapping. So you use question mark to represent any single character. So this is known as wildcard. Basically, you form your own patterns, and asterisk that means key 0 or more characters. So if I say A, let's say if I say other, O-T-H-E, right? And then I'm saying question mark. If I have a category which is other and there's a category which is others, so it will give me only what? Other, because I am saying ki after E, there should be only one character. So it is giving me what? Other only. Clear?
One thing in this scenario, if is there any possibility we can give 2 question marks if you want 2 more alphabets?
We can O-T, let's say H, and then question mark, right? Yeah. So that means after OTH, there can be only 2 characters.
Okay.
Then we have asterisk. So let's say I am saying what you have, like, so we have, let me see what all categories I'm having. So I have voice browsing and I have voice mail, right? So what will I say over here? Custom filter, and I'm saying voice and asterisk. And that is after voice, it doesn't matter how many characters are there. So it can be voice only, voicemail, or voice, whatever the other third category is, right? Yeah. So I'm able to get browsing as well. So, and I could have also written in this case, it could have worked with V star also. But ideally, the point is, this is wildcard mapping. You can form your own patterns. So you can even say over here, let me clear this. You can even say over here that the first character should be A, O. After O, there should be, let's say, any one character, right? After that, the third character should be T. And after that, any number of characters, it doesn't matter. 0 or more characters, asterisk. So like these, you can even form your own patterns. So it is not giving me.
ओ के बाद ही टी आता है, आपने ओ के बाद क्वेश्चन मार्क देन टी किया ना, इसलिए शायद नहीं आ रहा.
So no such pattern is there. So it should be, let's say, H and then asterisk. Yeah. Clear? So ideally, the point is that you can basically form your own patterns. Let's say what happens is when you have a large data set. So you don't remember that is it is disconnection or it is disconnect. So you can say disconnect. After that, you can say, so you can write DISC and then you can say asterisk. So whether it is disconnection or disconnect doesn't matter. It will be filtered. Yeah. So this is ideally the use case of text filtering. So we have in the text filters, we have custom filter in which we can use where we have question mark. Question mark represents single character and asterisk represents zero or more characters. Clear? Zero or more characters. Yeah, like it can be 0, 1, 2, 10, 15, anything. Either it can be 0. So if I say OT at other and asterisk, so that means ki after other, we do not have any category which has characters after R, right? In the other, right? So 0 or more characters. Same thing we'll be doing in SQL, wildcard mapping. And the concept will still be the same over there. Doesn't matter numeric or alphanumeric, it is that means 0 or more characters. So this was regarding the text filtering. Okay. Similarly, we have number filters. So this will be applicable on the numeric data, numeric column, number filters. Then you have equals to exactly if you want to filter a particular value does not equals to, that means accept that value if you want to filter all other values except a particular value. Greater than equals to, less than or equals to, between. Let's say between I want let's say 200 and 500 and 500. So it is filtered now. All the values you will be able to see are between 200 and 500. Okay. Now my question is, can I use or over here instead of and?
नॉट इंस्टेड, क्योंकि और यूज करेंगे तो या तो 200 या फिर 500
Correct.
उसके अकॉर्डिंग दिखाएगा, बीच का वैल्यूज नहीं दिखाएगा.
Either first it will check this. If this is not satisfied, then it will check for the next one.
Yes.
Right? Okay. That's why I didn't pick this thing up in the and or over here, logical functions. I'll take this up in the functions, logical function, and then you can decide at your own key which one you need to use. But if you're using between, then you should always go with and. Okay, I'll tell you the reason later, but you should all, and by default also you can see and is selected when I'm selecting between. Okay. Okay. Number filters, then we have top 10. So top 10 and bottom, like items and percentage. So if I say items, top 10 items.
Actually, just a minute. So in the previous example where you were talking about using OR, if we wish to see all the values which are less than 200 or greater than 500, in
Okay.
that case it will work, na?
No, it won't. Which you are saying, okay, let me
We
tell you.
don't want to see the values between.
Let's say I have some values 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Now tell me what you are saying.
Okay. So if we wish to see all the values less than 20,
You want to see values, condition is less than 20.
less than or equal to 20, let's say,
Uh-huh.
and greater than or equals to 40. So we will not be able to see 30.
Equals to 40. Okay. So if I go with or over here, in that case, let's say if I say or, and I am saying if this cell is less than equals to 20, check. And if this cell is greater than equals to 40, right?
Yeah, correct.
So that means you are just not filtering those values which is between 20 and 30.
Yes.
So, okay, so that is not between then, that's a different condition. So it will be false for this one. Yeah. In such scenario, you can go with this.
So like for all, if any of
One has to be true. It will return you true. Yeah. Right. I'll discuss this. I'm not taking this up now. I'll discuss this then.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Then I was at number filters. Top 10. If you want to get top 10 based on duration, because I'm filtering on the basis of the duration over here. So it will give me top 10 values. I can change the number, let's say top 5. So I have the top 5 over here.
So why this is showing the same numbers?
Because this is a raw data, and ideally we don't perform top 5 on the raw data. We perform on the summarized data. Okay.
Okay.
So this is just a concept I'm telling you. So where we will apply this, we'll see that later. But just how these functionalities works in Excel. So similarly, you have percent also. Okay. So how percent used to work in conditional formatting? On the number of rows, based on the number of rows, right? Here also, if I'm saying top 5%, it will give me the values based on the number of the rows. Same as conditional formatting. See. So it is giving me top 5% on the basis of the number of rows. Then similarly, you can have above average, like it will filter all those values which are above average, below average, and custom filter me what we have. Okay, if you want to filter something equals to, again, all those options, whichever we discussed, we have over here. But here, these options won't be applicable, begins with, ends with, because these are for text. Okay. So these options, top 10, less than, equals to, greater than, all these we have seen in the conditional formatting, between also. Above average, below average, and these options will work similarly over here also. There it used to highlight, here it will filter. Only that is the difference.
So Ashish, what if we would like to see all the multiples of 5, let's say?
Multiples of what?
5 for any number.
Okay. So multiples of 5 for any number.
I mean, either multiple of 5 or let's say multiple of any number. Can we filter like that?
We can filter like that, but I think we have to define some conditions for that. So I can say, yeah, but I need to then define some logic. So you're saying multiple of 5. So
Yes.
what I can do is I can have a formula. So I can say, let's say I'm giving the name as multiple. And I'm saying equals to, so everything is based on logic. So I will say if that value is divided by 5. If it is a multiple of 5, it will return me what in the output?
Teacher.
If I divide it by 5, what it will return? So let's say if I have a value, let's say 15, right? If I divide by 5, it will return me what?
3, which is an integer.
If it is not a multiple of 5, it will return me what?
Number.
No, it will return me what? So some logic like this we can apply.
5 के लिए तो हम easily इस कंटेन 0 या 5 ही डाल सकते हैं, क्योंकि 5 के कोई भी मल्टीपल होगा उसमें 0 या 5 आएगा एंड में, ends with 0 और 5. 5 का बता रही हो, बस 5
But
का.
Ashish just mentioned na ki ends with will not be working
Ends will
for
not work
numeric.
in- That's a text.
Oh, okay.
15 by 5. So some logic, let's say if I can say if this value is divided by 5. How can I get the remainder over here? 10, still it is giving me.
Sir, do the divide by remainder check करो.
So can we check if
That, if I divide by 2, that will return me even or not. But still it will give me the quotient, not the remainder, right?
so can we define integer or numbers? Like if the result is an integer value, which means there is no decimal point. That means it's completely dividing the number.
We won't be able to define the data type over here.
Okay.
So I can say is,
Can we count the decimal places? If there is 0 decimal place, that means it's completely dividing the number.
ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि if that number अगर हम रो को फिक्स नहीं करते, अगर हम हर एक रो में वो चेक करेगा, if condition के साथ तो और if that is equal if that is a remainder, then it will display true, else it will display false.
How can I get the remainder? That is the question. Okay, let me Google about it once. I'll just tell you. If you know the remainder, then it's very simple. So mod function you can use. Okay. You don't have an operator for that. Okay, you don't have an operator for that. So let's say if I say mod, yeah, this is my number. My divisor is 5. Still returning me what? Okay, sorry, my bad. So that was correct.
3 is the remainder, so it should not be equals to 0. So if this is equals to 0, that means it's completely dividing the number.
So was it this divided by 5 was returning me what? Yeah. Earlier I was getting the quotient only, but now it is the remainder. So it's correct now.
Just giving the remainder, na?
Yeah. So now you can say if this value is equals to 0.
0.
False. True. Now you can say Control Shift L and you can only filter the ones which are true.
ये एक बारी फिर से बता दीजिए.
Yeah. Nothing. I just use the mod function, which is a number function. So I have to saying, so what mod function does is it takes the number, this is my number, and with which you want to divide. So I want to divide by 5. So if the remainder is 0, that means that particular value is a multiple of 5. Otherwise, it's not. So I'm saying this will give me 0 or not, right? Either 0 or some remainder value. So I'm saying if the remainder value is equals to 0, so it will return me what? True. Otherwise, false. And I can just filter the true part, which will give me all those numbers which are multiples of 5. Clear?
ओके, जैसे अगर 5 की जगह कोई भी होगा तो उसकी जगह बस डिवाइडेड बाय दैट नंबर कर देंगे,
3 by
जिसका भी
2.
मल्टीपल चाहिए होगा.
Yes, and equals to 0. Okay. So
आशीष, वो डेट वाला अभी आया नहीं है पार्ट.
functions we will cover.
Okay.
1 second, let me just have this. So this was subsetting and filtering. Okay. Now guys, tell me, what do you understand by sorting? Yeah. What is sorting?
to sort the series wise.
So I can say rearrangement of the data. So let me just copy this thing again. Now let's say what I do is I'm just sorting the agent ID column first. So I'll just make the selection and I'll go to data tab, and here I have an option of A to Z, Z to A. A to Z is ascending, Z to A is descending. If I do A to Z, it is showing me whether you want to expand the selection or continue with the current selection. Which option should I choose? Expand the selection or continue with the current selection? Okay. Why expand or why not continue with the current selection?
जो फॉर्म सिलेक्टेड होएगा ना उसी में ही फिल्ट्रेशन करेगा तो डेटा प्रीवियस डेटा से मैच होगा.
Correct. So guys who told me continue with the current selection, what's the reason for that? Okay, what will happen if I say continue with the current selection? If I say sort, only this column will be sorted. So that means let's say this ID is is corresponding to agent 9, but let's say if I sort it, this will correspond to agent 1. That means that my data is now manipulated and it is useless. I cannot use it for the analysis. So you will go with expand the selection. That means that this column is getting sorted, all the corresponding values is going along with this value. Sort. Okay. Right. So agent 1, this is sorted. Now I have done the sorting. Now what I want to do is I have sorted agent ID, right? Now what I want to do is within this, I want to sort the duration also. For each agent, I want to sort the duration. Let me select this and I will say ascending order, let's say A to Z, expand the selection, sort. Once I do that, what has happened? Once I do that, this column is sorted in ascending order, but the sorting of this column is disturbed, right? But what I wanted first to sort on the basis of this column and then to sort on the basis of duration. So always remember that sorting always happens in levels. Okay. So let me make the selection of the table. And if I go to data tab, so you have a sort option over here, this custom sort. Once I click on that, or just check this thing, my data has headers. And you can see I can add levels and I can delete levels. So it is saying that first I will sort. So I'm saying first I want to sort on the basis of what? Agent ID. I can sort on the basis of cell values, cell color, font color, or conditional formatting icon. Okay. So let's say if I talk about the cell color part, so you did conditional formatting for the top 10 customers. You have 1 million records. Now, if you do the sorting on the basis of the cell color, all those colored cells will be together and non-colored cells will be together. So you will be easily able to see the colored data, right? So I want to sort on the basis of the cell values A to Z on the basis of what? Agent ID. So I'm not adding any level for now. Done. Agent ID. Done. It is sorted on the basis of the agent ID. Okay. Now what I will do is I will add a level. So add level. So first it is going to sort by agent ID. Then I'm saying sort on the basis of the item description. A to Z. Let's say cell values only. When I say sorting happens in levels. So what are the levels over here? How my data is divided. Earlier, when I just did the sorting on the basis of the agent ID, my data was divided at the agent level. Correct? But since I am now doing the sorting on the basis of the agent ID and item description, my data is divided on the basis of the combination of agent ID and item description. How? So this will be my first data partition. This is one other data partition. Voicemail. This one. Clear? Now what I'm doing is I am saying I want to further sort within this. I want to sort in the decreasing order. So let me remove the item description from here, and then you'll understand this. Let me remove duration, and let's say largest to smallest. So if you'll check, now I just first I have done the sorting on the basis of agent ID in ascending order, then on the basis of the duration in descending order. So first agent ID sorted. So this is my bifurcation. Now within this, you will see the data is sorted in the decreasing order, descending order. Now see over here, this one. So 180, 450 is greater than what? 181. Ideally, 450 should come first, right? Earlier it was happening, but now I am saying ki sorting is happening in levels. First, my agent ID column will be sorted. Now for each category of the agent ID column, my duration will be sorted in the descending order. So this is the partition which is happening. Guys, clear with this part? So one more thing I should do over here. Let's say sort and item description A to Z. One more level I want to add. And then let's say duration, largest to smallest. Done. Now tell me the partition of the data. So this is the first partition, and here it is sorting in descending order. Then this is the second partition for the agent one only. This is the third partition, and then voicemail. This is now sorted in descending order. Here we had only one value, one row. For agent 10, we have one row. So as it is, then agent 11 accessory double. So this is a different partition. Then for agent 11 accessory single, this is sorted in descending order. Then for agent 11 roadside assistance, this is sorted in descending order. So what is happening? It is basically taking the combinations of the categorical variables, and whatever the last level you have added, that will be sorted in ascending or descending order accordingly. So this is what is sorting is. I hope everyone is clear with this one. Okay. Online guys, clear with this part?
Yes.
Custom list where options.
Orders.
Yeah, because you can pass your list over here. For example, let's say you have these, let's say month names. So they are not usually sorted in as Jan, Feb, and March, right? So you can say that Jan should be 1, Feb should be 2nd, and March should be 3rd. So for that, you can use this custom list option. You can add a list and accordingly you can use. Okay. This is If I, if I try to understand like what is a function basically, let's say sum, min, max, min, what all are they? Aggregate function, that's a category. But what is a function? If I have to define a function definition, what will I write? Huh? Set of rules. So I can say set of rules, yes, like, and it does what? Returns what? Returns an output. No. What do you mean by
Return the set of values.
set of values? What's the main use of functions? Like, can sum perform average? If I use a sum function, can I perform average using sum function?
We have to specify the form.
No. Can some function perform average, or can some function return max value? No, right? So I can say it's a backend. May if I say it's a piece of code which is designed to give a specific to perform a specific task. Some function will give perform only summation. Max function will only return you max value. Average will only give you average. They are not going to perform any other task except whatever a single specific task they have been assigned to do. Right? So I can say a piece of code assigned to perform a specific task. Okay. Now, what are the types of functions? What are the categories of the functions, guys?
Logical functions,
Yes, we have logical functions. What else?
algorithms,
Arithmetic. So I should say number functions. Number will cover stats, maths, and stats. Binary. So binary. That's logical. What else?
financials,
Which one?
financial functions,
That's a domain specific. Like I'm talking about the categories in general. So number functions, they will come under number functions then. What else? What is sum min max average aggregate? After that,
Lookup function.
lookup functions. Yes. Text functions. Good. What else? Array functions. Yes. What else?
date and time,
Date and time. Pretty much these categories we have. Right? Okay. So logical I've already written. Number, logical aggregate, lookup, text, array, date and time. Okay. Starting with logical. What are logical functions we know? One more we are left with, conditional. Yeah, so with this, let's see, we'll start with logical. Tell me the name of the logical functions.
If
Not a logical function.
if function
If is not a logical function, it's a conditional function. And or
not.
okay. Now let's say we have result, we have condition 1, we have condition 2, and the output. Or result set, I should say result. So let's say first one is true, true, and true, false, false. We have false or true, then we have false, false. Now let's say I'm using and over here in this case, right? So what will be the output of this?
True.
Let me write the definition of and. If, or I should say, all the conditions needs to be true for the output to be true. That is, if any of the, if there is even one single condition which is false, what will be the output?
False.
So it will be what?
True.
Then
False.
false.
False. False.
That's for the and. If I the definition of or is any one of the condition needs to be true for the output to be true. Right? So any of the one condition needs to be true. What will be the output? True.
True.
Yeah.
True. True.
True.
False.
So that means in OR function, if all the conditions are false, then only it will return false. Otherwise, it's true. In case of not, so not is basically opposite of whatever your input is. Returns opposite of the input value. And what input, and it takes what input value? What input value it takes? What should be the input value?
True or
Boolean.
false?
True or false? Should be Boolean. If the input is true, what will it will return? False. If the input is false, it will return what? True. Use case, what could be the use case of not function? Let's say you have found out let's say students who have passed into the exams, right? Now you want to find out those students who haven't passed the exam. So if you have got your output as Boolean for the students who have passed the exam, you can simply create a column and pass the not function. So the false will be true. So all false or what who have not passed, they will become true, and they have. So these will be the one who have not passed the exams. Okay, we'll see this use case. Okay. Now let me take an example over here. In case of and, let's have a single category column. Let's say category is furniture, and we have office supplies. Then I have accessory. Let's say I have these three categories. Now I just, let's say I am what I want to do. I want to filter only the data for the furniture and office supplies only. So let me just repeat this over here again. Let me add the question also. Filter the data for the furniture and office supplies. I want to filter the data. So how can I do it using the logical functions? And so I will say, let's say यहाँ पे I will apply and, okay? And I will say equals to and. This equals to what? Logic. What is my logic one? Furniture. And this equals to what? Office supplies.
There should be or, I think. Mm.
Now, what is the definition of AND function? Both the conditions need to be true for the output to be true. What it
इसमें
will
और होना चाहिए.
true? What
ये
it will
true.
be the output?
False.
What will be the overall output?
False.
So is it giving it is it filtering the data for the furniture?
Mm.
Because I will filter for the true part. Right?
No, it is not.
Even if I say you to highlight only the furniture office supplies data, it will never return you true. It will never return you true. It will always be false. If you have a single categorical variable and you're using AND function, basically if you have a single categorical variable and you have multiple conditions, I should write over here. Single categorical variable and multiple conditions. Never use and. Because ideally furniture will never be equals to office supplies, or office supplies will never be equals to furniture. Up here in this case, furniture is equals to furniture, but furniture will never be equals to office supplies, right? Let's say if there are two persons, let's say Ashish and Ajay, can Ashish be equals to Ajay? No, you cannot compare two categories. You can compare based on their numeric values, but ideally you cannot compare the categories itself. So you will never use AND when you have a single categorical variable. That is, when you have multiple conditions in a single categorical variable, you will never go with AND. You will use what? OR. So if I say OR, this equals to furniture, or this equals to what I've written? Accessory. office supplies. Office supplies. Yeah. So here in this case, is furniture equals to furniture? This will be true. What will be the second condition? False. If any of the one condition is satisfied, what will be the output? True. So here, just don't get confused with the question. Here I have written and. That means I need to see the data for both the categories. Does not mean that you'll be using AND function to filter out. Because in case of AND, when you have a single categorical variable, it will always be false. Clear? Okay. Let's say you have this category, then you have subcategory. So let's say subcategory में you have furniture में you have chair, here you have tables, and office supplies में you have coffee machine. Okay, that's a coffee machine. Here you have office chair, accessory. Let's say you have what accessory you can have? Laptop. That's electronics. Let me make it electronics. Right. Now here, just see the question. I am saying filter the data for the category. For filter the data where the category of the product is furniture and subcategory is chair. Now you will use what? And now understand, when you had a single categorical variable, multiple conditions within the single categorical variable, you will be using your what? Or. When you have multiple categorical variables and the conditions are in different categorical variables, so you'll be using and. So it depends on the question now. I have said and over here because my conditions are in different variables. If I'll say or, then you'll use what? Then you will be using or, because then the question changes. Either the product category should be product furniture or the subcategory should be chair. So chair can be, I can write chair here also in the office supplies. So it depends on the question. When you have more than one categorical variable, it depends on the question whether you're going to use and or. Right? In this scenario, you'll be using and. So I'll say and. What is my logical one? Logical one is this category should be equals to what? Furniture. And subcategory should be equals to, that is both the conditions needs to be what? True. Done. So here we have a category as furniture, but subcategory is what? Table. I don't want that. So this is correct. Now there may be conditions or situations where I can say filter the data where the category is either furniture. I get to filter the data where the for the category, filter the data or show me the total sales for the furniture and electronics, and the subcategory should be chair. What will you do in that case? So since in a single categorical variable, if you're having multiple conditions, you will use or here. Either the category should be furniture or electronics and what? So within the categorical variable, it will be or. Across the categorical variable, it will be and or depending on the question. I hope you guys are not getting confused with this one. Right? Let me form that question. Let's see. Filter the data where the category, filter the data for the category furniture and let's say electronics and subcategory is chair. Let me make it chair only. Let's say not electronics. I should say office supplies. Now tell me, how should I go about this question? First, I need to filter the data from the category furniture and office supplies. I'll use what? Or. I'll say or this equals to this equals to furniture, or this equals to what? Office supplies. Okay. Now, where I need to use and, ब्रैकेट के अंदर यहाँ पे so this will give me what in the output? For this column, this will give me the output. I need to have the AND condition of this column with which column? Subcategory. So I will say and this is my what? Logical one for the and logical two will be what? Equals to chair. Nesting of functions. So first it will return me true or false, right? Whatever it will return me now. So this will return me true, right? True. This will return me false. So output will be true. True. And the psychological test, the output will be true. So the overall output is true. That means condition is satisfied. So this is how you can even do the nesting.
Should the second one also not be true? Like it is giving us false.
C68. Yeah, it should be true. I think yeah, we have a space.
Yeah. Okay.
This is a special character. Okay. So this was all regarding the categorical variable. So it when you have multiple conditions in a single categorical variable, you'll be going with or. And when you have conditions across the multiple categorical variable, it depends on the question whether you'll be using or and. Okay. Now let's talk about the continuous variable. Let's say values, or let's say salary I'm having column. So let it be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I'm saying filter the data with the salary. Question is filter the data where the salary, I should say sales. Filter the data where, so this thing is very important, categorical and continuous, when to use and or logical functions, because most of the time you guys will be confused कि I have multiple conditions where to use or and where to use and. So be very clear with this. So filter the data where the sales is between, let's say, 20 and 40. Now, what should I use? Sales is between 20 and 40. What should I use? And and let's say first I'll go with or. Okay, first I will go with or. And if I do that, so I'm saying or this greater than equals to what? 20. And this less than equals to what? 40. Okay. Now, is it greater than equals to 20? No, this condition will be false. Is it less than equals to 40? This condition will be, overall output will be true. So is it correct in such case? It
No.
will always be true when you have a between condition and you are using or, it will always be true. Doesn't make any sense. So we'll go with what? And let me just and. So I'll say and this greater than equals to 10 and this less than equals to 40. So it will give you that. Now this is giving me what?
So you put the greater than equal to 10. Yes.
Okay, sorry. 20. Yeah, done. Now this will give me what? True for the values which are between 20 and 40. Let's say now I want to know which are the values which are not between 20 and 40. Then what can I do? I can use or in that case. I want the values which are not between 20 and 40. I can use that. Yes, that's a. I can use not. I was about to come to that. Let's see. Not. So simply true. I want what? False to be true and true to be false.
Yes.
Right? So I'll say not. And it takes what? Logical as an input. So this one, this will become true. True will become false. And I can achieve the same thing. See, there are multiple ways to get the same thing done. I can even achieve the same thing with or. So I can say or this value less than equals to what? 20. So less than 20. And this value greater than 40. Because we had in between we used what? Equals to. So यहाँ पे greater than. Then also I will achieve the same out. Clear? So now it depends if you have a single continuous variable, it depends on the question or the analysis, ki what analysis you are performing. If I want, but if I'm using between, then I'll use definitely what? And. So I should say and will be used with between. Always. because in case of between, the OR function will always return you true. Same is the case with categorical. It will always return false when you have multiple conditions in a single categorical variable. Let's say then if you have sales and you have profit as well along with it. So P 2, 4, 5, 3, 4. So I am saying key filter the data where sales is greater than, let's say, where the sales is greater than, let's say, 30, greater than equals to 30, and the profit is between 2 and 5. Clear? Now, how can I achieve this? What I need to do? Or an and. Let me get the sales greater than 30. Right? So here I have only one condition. I'm not using between. So, right? Okay. Now I need to figure out what will be what I need to use between profit and sales. Since sales I'm using between. So definitely within this I'll be using what? And now what my question is saying, across if I have multiple continuous variables, I'll use what? And or?
And
I will use and. Now how to go about it? So let's say I'm saying and this one should be what? Greater than equals to 30. What is my logical test 2? I have to use and again because I cannot simply say profit and profit greater than 4 or 5. I can say and this has to be what? Greater than equals to 2 and less than equals to 5. Done. So this will return me true or false, and this will return me true and false. If the both of the conditions is returning me true, then the output will be true. False. Bracket. Yeah. So sales is greater than 30, profit is between 2 and 5. Sales is greater than 30, profit is between 2 and 5. So it depends on the question, what logic you are applying, whether you will use and or whether you will use and or you will use or you will use not. Okay. Guys, clear with the logical functions part?
Yes.
Can on the third table. Yes, sir.
This one?
This.
Yeah.
Can we use not directly instead or and?
Yes. So I can say not. Okay. Ultimately, I need to remember what? I need to remember not takes Boolean as an input. So whatever I'm writing inside the not, the output of that should be what? Boolean. So not what I'm saying, what is my sales between, na? So I can say and sales is between 20 and 40. So I can say this value greater than equals to 20, comma, this value less than equals to 40, Done. This is nesting of functions. Same output I'll get. You can do nesting of functions as per whatever logic you are building. You just need to understand what input that function takes and what it returns in the output. Clear? So this was all regarding the logical functions. Any doubt, guys? Let me know still if you have any doubt in the logical functions part. Okay, sales is between, then one AND will come over here. And then both the AND conditions will be the inside the outer end.
And overall, it becomes false. Because 10 is not between 20 and 30.
Yeah, so in that case, it will become false. Still, it is false. Any other questions? Online guys, any questions regarding the logical functions?
No.
Okay. So it's 11:13. Let's have a break and everyone be back by 11:30. Okay. Okay. So next category we have of functions is conditional. Right. What all conditional functions we have? We have if and ifs. If you will be using when you have a single condition to check, you will be using ifs when you have multiple conditions to check, right? So just let me make you go through the syntax of this. If you say if, so first thing will be basically defining your logical test, what condition you are checking. If that condition is true, then what should be the output? If that condition is false, then what should be the output? Let's take the same example. I am saying if the category is furniture, then return 1 in the output, or you can even return a text. Otherwise, 0. So I'll say if, what is my logical test? Guys, what will be the logical test? This equals to what? Furniture. Then if this condition is true, what should I get in the output? 1. Let's say 1. Otherwise, if you want to return a value in the output, you'll be using if function. A value can be a text or numeric value. That's right.
Does the value is square? It notes that it's optional or it's compulsory to write.
Square.
Yeah.
So generally it is considered optional. Yes. And if it is false, what should you give? Let's say 0. Right? So wherever it is furniture, I'm able to now, earlier I was just getting true and false. Now I'm able to assign values, whatever values I want to give. Just copy this. Now let's say an example. Let's say I have a student data and their subject, let's say English, maths. Let the student be A1 or let the student be, let's say A, B, C, D, for example. And English with the marks they have got is let's say 30, 20, 35, 10, and maths मध्ये I've got is 20, 30, gain 30, and let's say 20. And now the condition that I'm giving is, let's say, if the student has got more than 20 in, let's say more than 20, not more than 20, I should say more than, if the student has got more than 25 in all the subjects, then he has passed, otherwise failed. So I'll say if, now, if, and what should be my output? Pass or fail. Now what should be my logical test? If, what should be the logical test? Huh? Condition. Logical test is what? Condition. What is my condition? Yes, we'll use and. Yes. Now we'll check the condition. What is my question? If in both the subjects the students have got more than 25, he has passed, otherwise failed. So this should be greater than equals to 25. And in math also it should be greater than equals to 25. Now this is true, this is true. The output will be true. If the logical test output is true, then what value I want to give in the output? Here it is not true, na? Here it is not true, let's say. But I'm saying if this condition is true, what do I want to give in the output? Value if true. Pass. We write text in double quotes. I'll say pass. Otherwise, what if this test fails? If this condition is false? Fail. Done. So this is what? Nesting of logical function and conditional function. Now is it correct? Only one student has passed. Let me read the question. Student has passed when passed if got, if he or she got greater than equals to 25 in all the subjects. Now let's say again, which students are eligible for grace marking? Criteria is if they have got greater than 30, greater than equals to 30 in any of the one subject. So he is eligible for grace marking. Okay. So now how can I do it? Let's say if logical test, or either English should be greater than equals to 30, or what? Math should be greater than equals to 30. If this condition is true, what should be the true value? Eligible. Let's say I am saying eligible. Otherwise, if this condition fails, then not eligible. Value if false. So the last one is not eligible to the grace marks. Okay. So this was very simple with if functions, right? Now what I'm telling you, like, okay. So what I was doing over here, in this case, not in this case. In this case, I was using AND function, right? because I with the use of AND conditions and function, I'm able to check multiple conditions over here. Yes or no? But let's say I don't want to do that. I can simply use ifs. So if I say equals to ifs. So if remember in the if function syntax, we had logical test, value if true, and then value if false. There is no option of value if false over here. Only value if true. So what is first argument? Logical test 1. That you can basically give multiple logical test over here. So logical test 1. So I'm saying this greater than equals to 30. Then what value you want to return in the output? Then you can define a logical test 2. But here it will be same. It will be same only. I have to use AND because it's
Hi, can you just please enter Sparsh? She's probably in the waiting room.
yeah. I think here I won't be able to use ifs. So I can use ifs, but again I have to use AND with it. I'm trying. Let me find an example where you don't have to use that.
Hello. Hi, am I audible?
Yeah, Bhavya.
Yeah, can you please enter Sparsh? She's probably in the waiting room.
I've already yeah done.
Thank you.
Let me take an example for the ifs part. And the conditions we have are these. Let me mention the condition somewhere over here. Okay. Now, yes. So this is your data. These are the maximum score obtained by Sherlock, and these are the conditions. I want to give grades. So let's say this should be A, B, C, and then F. Okay. Now, how can I achieve this using the if function? Tell me. I can use ifs, yes, but let's first do it with if. How can I do it with if? Nested if. Yeah. So I'll say if. Now understand the arguments very carefully over here. Logical test 1. So I need to check for the marks that he got. So if I am saying if the marks obtained by him is greater than, now when I'm using if, either I have to go in increasing order of cutoff or decreasing order of cutoff. Remember that conditional formatting में भी क्या होता है, custom में भी क्या होता है. So greater than equals to 80, that's decreasing order of cutoff. So I should give what in the output? A value of true. Let's say if this condition fails, then what should I give in the value of false? I don't have any specific value to be given in the value false, so I will check for the next condition. So I will use if function over here again. Then I will check whether. So okay, I have to again this, and I will say what greater than equals to 60. If it is not greater than equals to 80, then check whether it is greater than equals to 60 or not. Then return what? B. Again, if this condition also fails, then check for the next condition. If this is greater than equals to what? 40. Then what? See? Else, now I have a specific value which I can return, right? F, which will be in the value if false. How many brackets I need to close? I have used 3 if, so 3 brackets. 1, 2, 3.
It should be double, and it should be double.
Yeah, double quotes. Done. Okay. And I can simply just drag it. This was what? In the decreasing order of cutoff. How can I achieve the same thing in the increasing order of cutoff? Tell me. If what? If it is increasing order of cutoff, what will be the operator symbol? Greater than or less than? Greater than equals to or less than? Less than. Because in the decreasing order of cutoff we had greater than equals to. So less than. Less than what? Sorry, if this value is less than 40, then what I need in the output? F. Now my false value is not defined. I have multiple values to be defined for the false value. So I will use if again. If this test is, if it is not less than 40, then we need to check whether it is less than 60. And I need to give what? C. If it is not even less than 60, then check whether it is less than 80. Then B. And in the else part, we have A, false part. Then we got the same output. Clear? Now, here it was necessary to define the increasing order of cutoff or decreasing order of cutoff because we haven't defined the width of the or range of the values where we need to give the certain value in the output. Let's just see. If I am saying if the value is between 40 and 60, then I don't need to define the increasing or decreasing order of cutoff. Okay. So let's say if I use again, I'm using if, and now I'll be using with logical function. Now tell me how to go with logical function over here in this case. If so, starting value has to be increasing or decreasing, right? So I'll say let's say greater than equals to 80, and then I will give what? A. Then what value false if now I am saying, let's say ideally I should take 80 and 60, but I am saying 40 and 60 because I am defining my range now. So I'll say and this value should be between what? Greater than equals to 40, and this value should be less than equals to less than 60. Then I should give what in the value if true? C. I'll define it for the B also. Value if false if and this is greater than equals to 60 and this less than 80, then I should give what? B. Else F. Then exactly same output with 3 different approaches, right? But here it was necessary because I was not defining the fixed range of the values. Here I am defining the fixed range of the values using AND function. So the proper order, if it is not there, then it doesn't matter also. Clear? Then the next thing we have is ifs. So if I say ifs, since we have multiple conditions, I'll say ifs. What is my logical test one? That's if this value is greater than equals to what? 80, then output should be A. Again, if I'm not using logical functions, I have to go either in decreasing order of cutoff or increasing order of cutoff. So let's say if I'm going here in decreasing order of cutoff, then what? What is the next argument? There's no false argument over here. Next argument is what? Logical test 2. If this is greater than equals to 60, then B, then greater than equals to 40, then C, I need to define the logical test for the f also, because I do not have value if false part over here. So what will I do? If this is what? Less than 40, then f. Because I do not have a false part, I can give multiple conditions. I need to just close, because I have used only single if, which is taking multiple conditions, multiple logical tests. And same output I have achieved. Next thing is ifs with logical function. Here I do not need to define the order, decreasing or decreasing order of cutoff. So I'll say ifs. So let's say this is greater than equals to 80, and I will give this as a. There's only value of true argument. Then and this greater than equals to 40, comma, less than 60. Value if true, 2. What should I give? C. Then again and this greater than equals to what? Greater than equals to 60 and less than 80. I should give P. If it is less than 40, I should give F. Done.
And for the formula,
It is similar to the if, but it's just that we have to define the condition for even the last condition, because we do not have a false part in the ifs. Ifs is for multiple conditions. Guys, clear with this part? Okay. Now we have the nesting of if in the value false part. We can do the nesting of if in the value true part, right? For example, let's take this example. The class. So I'm saying 12, 12, 11, 12. Let's say this is the data I'm having. And I am saying, question is, check whether the student is of class 12 or not. Is of class 12. If it is, then further check whether the student has passed or not. Clear with the question? First, I will check what? Whether student belongs to class 12th or not. If it is of not, if it is of not class 12th, I don't want to do any analysis for it, for that particular student, right? So let's say, again, if I'm going with if over here, so I will say if, what will be my logical test? Whether class is 12th or not, equals to 12. Let's say this test is, logical test is what? True. What I need to check further? Passed or not. Where will I check that? Do I have any value to give in the value of true part? No, I need to check the condition for the true part. If this condition is true, I need to further check whether that student has passed or not. So I will say what? If, and I will say, let's say, passing की क्या condition थी दोनों में 25 plus होना चाहिए. So I'll say this greater than equals to 25 and this. No, this is just I have given. So whatever numbers you are given with, you can pass those numbers. Just to understand the concept. Then ठीक है. If this test is true, then what should be the output? Now I have an output to give. Pass. Else what? Fail. Done. Now let me close it. Now I have closed this thing for which one? Inner if, comma. So this was entire thing was what? Value if true. Right? This is checking the condition and also returning the output. Now I need to give certain value if false also for the outer if. So I'll say not class 12. Right? Because see, if it is not, if this become false, what will happen? It will directly jump to the value if false output. It won't even check the condition then. Not class 12. So it depends on your question or the criteria ki whether you will use the do the nesting in value if false or value if true. So there will be cases where you will be doing the nesting in both of them. Okay. Clear? Guys, any query? Online guys, any query? So this sheet is already shared with you guys. What you can do is simply practice this. Functions logical. There are only these two exercises. Right? You have to just use a function, use this data and get the output. Very simple exercise. This was conditional functions. Then next we have is, let's say number functions. See, in real life scenario, you'll be never using a single function. Let's say you will never be using sum alone. You'll be just never be using if. You may be using if with and or. You may be using sum with some other function. Right? It's just the different concept. Let's say some question has been given to you. That question is an analysis only. So you'll achieve the output using multiple concepts combined together, right? Which you will understand when we'll do the text functions as well. Okay. Now what all are number functions? Sum. Number functions. Sorry.
Sum, average.
Integer.
Those are aggregate functions. Number functions.
Count.
Aggregate. Remember seal, floor.
Ceiling, floor. Okay.
What else? Absolute. Yes. Round. Square root. Exponential. Log. We saw just one mod, right? And n number of functions are there. But what it does, generally functions are of two types: scalar function and aggregate function. So we have scalar and then we have aggregate functions. What are scalar functions? Okay, first tell me what are aggregate functions. I'm not asking you the function name, definition, what it does. Correct. It takes multiple values as an input, multiple values, or I can say range as an input and returns what it returns, a single value in the output. If you take the sum of an entire column, you get a single value. That's an aggregate function. Scalar functions.
Take
So there are
single
two
value as an input
scalar.
and return as a single value output.
Yeah. Okay. Takes single value as an input and returns a single value as an how it returns multiple values in the output and returns a single value in the output. So if I talk about, let's say, any function, we used mod function. It was taking what? Single value as an input and returning what? Single value as an output. This is one definition of it. The other definition we have is we have another scalar function which are known as rank scalar functions or basically rank functions. What they do is it takes what? Range as an input and return the output for each row. Right? That is what rank functions does. Because you have to first specify what are the range of values you are having, and from that range, which value will get what rank. Right? If I need to give you the ranking as per your marks, I need to first have the marks for, I need to have all the marks first, right? And then I will be able to give the ranking to all of you. So I am giving the output at the row level, but I am taking the range as an input. Clear? So majority of the functions are into these two categories, aggregate or scalar. Date and time, scalar. Number, scalar. Logical, scalar. Conditional, scalar. The ones which are not aggregate are what? Scalar. Okay. Number functions are just stable. So let's say I'm having C over here, floor. I'm having absolute. I'm having round. I'm having square root, exponential, log. What I'm not taking. Now if I say seal, which is we have ceiling or ceiling dot math. So ceiling is a both will do the same thing. But ceiling is a depreciating function. That means ki in the coming versions of Excel, you won't be able to see this function. Okay. So ceiling dot math. Then this is my number and done. So what it is doing? Round off to the next.
Not round off, ये next value ले रहे हैं.
Yeah, so it is giving me the next what? Next
Higher value,
next integer value,
bigger value.
right?
हाँ.
Why is it giving me -100 and not -101 over here?
It is minus negative and then the negative.
Yeah, negative. What happens in negative numbers? The higher the value, the lower the importance of that value. For example, -3 is a greater value than -4. But 3 is less than 4. It's opposite. Clear? Now, if I say over here equals to floor, this is my number. Now it is doing what?
Take the smaller value.
Next smaller integer value.
Yes.
Rounding to next smaller integer value. Then we have absolute. Basically, it returns the negative number as positive. Right? 100 was negative, it's now positive. Then I have round. So whatever I achieved through ceil and floor, I can achieve the same thing through round function. So I'm saying round. So here I have the variations of round function, round up, round down. So round, this is my number, let's say. And I am saying the number of digits after the decimal till which I want to round it off. So I'm saying, let's say 1. Okay. So it was 6, 7. It was greater than 5. 7 is greater than 5. So 6 turned into 7. And it is into -100. That is 0, 0, right? 1 is less than 5 over here. Same is the case with this one. So let's say, but if I am saying round to till 0 decimal places. So it is acting as what? 555. Okay. 560, 346, and 234. So what is happening over here? If the
मतलब
value after
point
the decimal,
yeah, after the point, if it is more than 50,
more
then
than
it will
5.
go for the next value. Otherwise,
If the value after the decimal is greater than or equals to 5, that number is basically rounding to the next integer value.
next number.
If it is less than 5, then the same value. Or I can say next integer lower value. So in case of this, it is 555 only. I have two more functions like variations of this round function. I have round up. So if I use round up over here, this is my number of digits I want to round up to, let's say 1. Okay. Let's say what I'll get over here. So it is showing me till 551.1 over here. And if I say till 0. So 999,556, 560, 346, and 556. Yeah, this one. It has rounded up to what? Next higher value. But in case of -100, it is returning me -101. Right? So basically, I'll say the negative sign is not impacting it. So that means the ceil function works correctly in case of negative values also, ceil or floor, but not round up or round down. Clear? Otherwise, it is working similar to ceil only, or I should say ceiling. So these are some variations of this. Then I have square root. So this is my number, and it will return me the square root. Why this hash num error? You don't have a square root of a negative number, it's imaginary. That's why. Okay. Then I have exponential. This is my number. Okay. Why hash num error over here? Okay, what do you understand by this one? 4.2161 e raised to plus 101. That means that this decimal will move 101 places to the right hand side. If this value is negative, that means this decimal will move that number of places to the left hand side. Clear? So generally in Excel, the range of displaying the exponent is from, let's say, it is from e raised to minus 343 to e raised to plus 343. And this is exceeding that value. So that is why hash num error. If I change this number from 999 to, let's say, you're able to get the value now. Even if I do 899, then also you're not okay. 7. Yeah. So 303. So the range is still 343 approximately. E raised to 343. The Excel will be able to display the number in the cell. Let it be 999.
आई थिंक जिसका रिमाइंडर जीरो नहीं आएगा उसके में ये नहीं काउंट कर रहा है
जिसमें रिमाइंडर जीरो नहीं आएगा
मतलब जैसे 999 का रिमाइंडर मतलब हम कितना भी इसको डिवाइड करते रहेंगे इसका रिमाइंडर जीरो आई थिंक नहीं आएगा सेम गोज टू 799 मतलब इनको ये 3 से डिवाइड कर दिया फिर 111 आ जाएगा मतलब हम डिवाइड करते रहेंगे मतलब इसका जो पॉइंट आफ्टर डेसिमल डिजिट्स है ना वो बढ़ती रहेगी बट उसका मतलब वो रिमाइंडर जीरो आएगा नहीं
Yeah, ideally that comes to a point that it doesn't lie in the range.
Yeah. Same thing.
Log, this is the number. What is log of 1? 0. Log of 0? Log of 0 is 1. Log of 1 is 0. And log of 0 is what? Undefined? Not defined. So that means the value from 0 onwards towards the negative scale, those are not defined. So that means hash num error for this. Okay. So these all were the number functions. Like there are n number of number functions, all the statistical functions, financial functions, any domain specific functions, all will lie in the number functions.
But ये exponential ने और log ने किया क्या मतलब
it is
क्या result मिला मेरे को
it is just a calculation that we are performing. So if you use a Poisson distribution, let's say, so that uses the exponential form, e raised to minus lambda, lambda raised to x upon x factorial. So these things we are just understanding what they are calculating. So it is log function we generally use. So if I talk about in the modeling part, we use it to remove the skewness from the data by changing the scale of the data. Right? So let's say if there are a lot of fluctuations, even in the time series, let's say if my data is having a lot of fluctuations like this. So if I try to predict this data, my predictions will be value. My predictions also will be fluctuating like this a lot. Like I'll be like this, so it is highly unreliable. Now what I need to do is I can basically take the log of it and I can smoothen out the data by changing the scale. So my predictions, whatever predictions I have done, that won't be fluctuating a lot. So they will be in the range. So that's the use case. What? This one? This one? So log of 0, log of 1 is what? 0, right? So if you divide any number by 0, what will you get? Undefined. So log, if it, that's what log of 0 is. I mean, any negative number or log of any negative, since this is the dead end. Like if you take log of 1, you get 0. If there's any number which is below 0, -1, -2, any number, so that is undefined from 0 onwards. Guys, clear with the number functions? So what all categories we have covered of the functions? So we have seen number, we have seen logical, we have seen conditional, and let's see aggregate now. So I won't be giving that much time to the functions in SQL because 90% of the functions are same, right? So be very thorough with these things. Aggregate functions. Give me the name. Sum,
Count, average,
max, count,
average,
average. What else?
Count A, count blank,
Count A, count
count blank.
length.
Yes.
Length is not an aggregate function. It's a text function. Large, yes. Small,
Small.
right? Okay. Now let me just take the values. Again, the same values I'm taking. If I want to get the total, which function I'll use?
sum,
Sum. I'll say sum and I will directly select the range. Right. Do I need to freeze it? I can freeze it and I'll get the same output. But my question is it necessary to freeze? No, is it necessary to freeze? Why?
सर क्योंकि हम जो समेशन ले रहे हैं हम कॉलम वाइज ही ले रहे हैं
So
एक रो वाइज कर रहे हो तो एक बार के लिए फिर भी अगर इंटरसेक्शन पॉइंट्स आ रही है अगर आपके डेटा में
no.
तो आप एक अगले प्लीज करें
हम कोई रेफरेंस सेल हमारा नहीं है ना, इसमें हमें ओवरऑल कैलकुलेट करना है इसको।
Do the freezing. हमने फ्रीजिंग किया था ना लास्ट टाइम ट्यूसडे को। सो फ्रीजिंग कब करते हैं? When we need to drag it. Am I dragging it? I just need the output in a single cell. If I drag it, my range will change. I don't want my range to change, so I'll freeze it. Right? Okay. Total we have. Then similarly, I can get min value, max value equals to min none equals to max none. Okay, similarly, you can have average. Now, there's a mean value and max value you have, right? Let's say there's one more function we have, which is large and large value. Sorry, यहाँ पे नहीं आएगा यहाँ पे. So if I say equals to large, this is my array, comma k. K will tell me which largest value you want. If I want the maximum value, I will give 1. This will give me the value same as max value. If I want the second largest value, I will give 2. It will return me what? 40. So like this, you can have nth largest value, 10th, 15th, 20th, any largest value you can get using large function. Then we have nth smallest value. If I want the minimum value, I can use what? Small. If I do small comma 1, what will I get?
Smallest value.
Smallest
First
value?
is smallest.
Yeah. If I want the third smallest value, 3. What is the third smallest value? 30.
30.
Now, what do you think? What could be the use case of this large function or small function?
Probably like if we're trying to find कि for example किस महीने में किस प्रोडक्ट से maximum sales हुई है for example.
Not.
So that
No, not that. For that, you'll be using array functions. Yeah, that can be one thing. Other thing that, yeah, if you want to determine what is the second value, largest sales, third largest sales, right? That can be done. But let's say if I tell you ki I want to know which are, let's say I'm telling you ki highlight the records for the top 10 customers based on sales. Right? Now you cannot highlight a record with the default options available in conditional formatting. You have to use a formula. So you have to apply some logic. So now what logic you will apply? How will you find the top 15 customers or top 10 customers? Let's say top 5 customers based on sales. How will you find that? Conditional formatting I understood, but you need to write a formula for that. So no, don't tell me the formula, tell me the approach. What will be the approach? Correct. You will first find the 5th largest value. You got a cutoff. Now, whichever sales are greater than equals to that particular value, you can highlight that. So you ultimately you have done a comparison also, which will give you true and false. And the output of the conditional formatting formula should be what? Boolean. If I'm saying not top 5, give me the bottom 5 customers. Then you can use a small function. You will find the, let's say, 5th smallest value. Then what should be the operator you'll be using? Greater than. Operator.
Less than.
Because you are finding the 5th smallest value. There will be 4 values which will be smaller than that. So whichever values are less than equals to that particular value, those are your bottom 5 customers. So this is how you're going to build your logic using the functions.
So then this will be a nested function, right?
We are using
with
the
small
concept,
and if.
we are using the concept of conditional formatting and functions, and the output we are getting is Boolean. Clear?
Can you? Is it possible? Can you just write that function complete?
We will do that exercise. We'll do that.
Okay.
Let's say I'm again taking this. and let's say pasting it over here. And it's not work now. I am removing this 30. Here I am taking ABC. Okay. Now I have functions like count, count A, and count blank. So I'll take it over here. Count, count A, count blank. Now if I'll tell you the function which is very important, very useful is counted. Among these three, count is, everyone knows count, but count is a very good function for making the things dynamic. That you'll understand in the later part. So remember what it does. Now, if I'll take the count, what will I get in the output? This is my range. 3.
Yeah.
Okay. If I take count A, what will I get? 4.
5, 4. It doesn't take spaces. Yeah.
Then you take blank. If I take count blank, I will get how much? 5 or 1?
1.
1. It only counts blank. So not variables. Count blanks. Counts numeric as well as text values. Okay. Count only counts numeric values. Clear?
Can we say count A and count blank are opposites of each other?
Count, no, they have a specific purpose. It only counts blank. Count A counts
Because
numeric.
count A will count all the non-blank cells.
Yeah. In the range.
Yes. So both are opposites of each other. No? One
Yes.
is only counting blanks and the other one is counting non-blanks.
Yep.
Thank you.
So this was regarding the aggregate functions. You guys are aware of some min max, but the functions that you need to keep in mind are large, small, count, counting. Okay. So the aggregate functions. We are done with the aggregate functions part also. Then we have text functions. Tell me the name of the text functions.
Left, right,
Okay, let's say left, right,
upper, lower,
mid, upper, lower, proper, then length. Okay, let's say concatenate also. I'll take concatenate. I'll take
Trim.
yeah, concatenate, trim. Sorry, which one? Spell it. CL. Clean. Acha, okay. Clean. Length. What else? Which one? Okay, so you have replace, substitute, substitute. You have find, you have search. Pretty much this. Let's start with upper, lower, and proper. let me take an example of upper. In this case, so example would be, let's say I'm taking example as Australia, and I'll say equals to upper. What it takes as an input? Text. This is my text. Yeah. Converted into uppercase. This will do what? Convert into lowercase. And let's say I have, it will convert this into what? Proper
It will, the
case.
first alphabet will be
First
capital.
alphabet, Australia, let's say Sydney. It will convert first alphabet of each word into capital or uppercase. So I'll say proper, and this is my text. Clear? Okay. So this one is done. Then we have this concatenate, trim, clean. Let's say I have first name and last name. So let's say I have Raj and here, and the next, this is my first name, last name is, let's say, Shamani. Okay. Now I need to have the full name. These are two different columns, first name and last name. So I need to have the full name. So I will say concatenate. So concat I can use, yes. So this is my text one, comma, text two. Is it correct?
But
Yeah.
it will not give spaces in between the names.
Space. So you need to use the text which is blank, any separator, right? So text
Yeah.
to in double quotes given
Space.
right? This is one way of doing it, concatenation. The other way of doing it is you can simply say equals to first name, then you can use ampersand. So this one, the symbol, and then what you want to concatenate in double quotes, space, and then again ampersand, and you can use the last name Shamani. You'll get the same one. Okay. Then trim. Let's say again same example I'm taking. I'm saying Raj, extra spaces, some, and I'm saying Shamani. When I do that, it will remove what? Extra spaces from the text. Same example I'll take for the clean. Non-printable characters from the text, let's say. So it is not removing the extra spaces, it is removing the non-printable characters. What all are non-printable characters? Those are non-printable characters. So if I take this, this can be, I don't think those are not non-printable. Let me check what are non-printable characters. So it's Unicode characters it is referring to. ASCII range, AR129. Next. Okay, numbers 129, 141. Okay, let's check. 129A, let's say. And if I say clean, then if I just remove A, then it is just converting the numeric to text. How is it removing the non-compatible? How will I form it into the ASCII? Let me check one second. If I say cat, so you can use the char function to get the character which has this ASCII value. Okay. And if I've used this function, let's say, let me use some other number. Let's say 120, 144 probably. What's the sequence? Let me check. What is ASCII value 144? So it's basically differ from Windows to Windows, and these are some characters which look like these, which have these ASCII values in the backend, and in the particular versions they are not printable, right? So clean function, what it does, it just removes those. So if I say char of this, let me show you class 3. If I say char of this 144 and m%, and I concatenate some a, let's say ABC. So it is just showing me what? ABC. It is not showing that unprintable character over here in such case. Clear? That's what clean function does. So else should say.
What is char?
Char is a function which basically is used to get the character based on the ASCII value.
What is ASCII value?
ASCII value is basically how the text is stored in the backend. So if I say char of 1, char of 98, let's say. So that's small b.
Yeah.
So small b stored with a value 98 in the backend. That's ASCII value. This is known as encoding. Clear? Non-printable printable characters.
एक बार ट्रिम वाला फिर से बता देंगे प्लीज.
Trim is just removing extra spaces. How much space I've given? So it is just giving one space in between, removing the extra spaces between the text.
Okay.
Clear? So this was concatenate, trim, and clean. Guys, clear with this part? So we have done this also. Then we have length function. Okay. So length function. Again, let me write example as Australia. Space. set name. If I take length of it, what do you think? What will be the length I'll be getting over here? It will include space also. It will include special characters. So this is the text and the length is 16. Now, let me, this length function, obviously concatenate. Upper lower proper is simple. Length, concatenate, and then left, right, mid, replace, substitute, find, and search. These are very important functions when you want to basically clean your data. Okay. Length we have done. Then we have find and search. Not find and search, sorry. Replace and substitute. Replace. Let me take replace first. So again, let me take an example of Australia. Right. I am saying equals to replace. My first argument is what? Old text. So this is my old text, comma. Then it is saying starting number, from where you want to start replacing the text. Let's say I want to replace A, this capital A, I want to replace. So I want to start from first character, 1. From starting from first character, how many number of characters you want to replace? No, I just want to replace capital A, 1. Starting from first position, I just want to replace first character, new text. What should be the new text? Let's say I'm keeping capital T, for example. Okay. Done. Okay. Now what I'll do, again, I'll say replace. This is my old text. Starting number is 1. Starting from A and replace what? 1 character only. And the new text should be, let's say, twice. What will happen over here? Correct. So my length of Australia will change. My 1 character will increase over here. So it's not necessary that you can only replace a single character with a single character. You can even replace multiple characters with a single character. We'll do this over here. So I'll say replace. This is my old text and starting number is 1. Number of characters I want to replace is, let's say, 2. And I want to replace it with single T. I can even replace them with multiple T's, 2 T's, or a single T. It doesn't matter. So here what has happened? My length of the text has decreased. Right? I can replace the text from in between also. So this is my old text starting position. Sorry, this is my old text. I am saying I want to replace small t with capital T. So start from where? 4th. Number of characters to be replaced, 1. What will be the new text? Capital T. Done. Clear with the replace function? Similarly, we have substitute. So what all variation I showed you with replace, all those variations can be done with substitute also. In same example. And I am saying equals to substitute. This is my text. What is the old text which you want to replace? Let's say capital A. What is the new text? Capital T. Again, substitute. This is the text you want to replace. What is the old text? A with multiple T's. Again, substitute. This is my text. Old text is, let's say, A. And new text is, let's say, T. Then we have an argument over here, optional, which is instance number. Which instance of that text you want to replace? First, second, third, fourth. So let's say I'm saying second instance, right? What has happened? Nothing has changed because there is no second instance of capital A. But if I say second instance of small a, so last one should be changed. Clear? This is the advanced functionality. One more functionality we have over here. Now, okay. Now tell me what is the difference between substitute and replace? When you will be using replace and when you will be using substitute? When you know a specific substitute. So when short of the text to be replaced or to be substituted, should to be replaced, let's say. Use what? Substitute. For example, if I tell you that, I don't think I have that example, not over here. But let's say I have some reference number. Okay. So let's say the first two indicates the code of the country. Let's say Canada, then year, and then AWZ, something like that. Right? 13. Then let's say US. Now if I want to replace CA, basically only the CA with triple time X or 4 time X or 2 time X, I'll use what? Replace or substitute? Substitute. Yeah, I will use substitute because I'm sure of the text to be replaced. In that case, it won't replace US. But if I just want to replace the code of each country with 3 time X or 4 time X, what will I use? Replace, because here I am sure of the position, right? So replace will be using when sure about the position of the text to be replaced. So I'll show you the difference if I use replace and if I use substitute. So you may have seen the messages from the banks. Your account number is like XXXX, and then you get your some values for your account number. Even in case of Aadhaar card or PAN card also, you don't get the complete details. And you'll see generally that even in case of your bank account number, let's say you have 12 digits, you will have around 16-18 digits. So that even if the hacker tries to do the permutation and combination, it's not possible. Right? Okay, so if I'll say replace, and this is my old text. Starting number is 1. How many text I want to replace? 2 with, let's say, sorry, XXXX. Right? If I particularly want to replace for Canada, substitute, because here I'm sure of the text. This is my text. What is my old text? CA. New text. No instance number. So here it won't replace for the US.
एक बार इसको फिर से रिपीट कर दीजिए दोनों replace and substitute.
Replace you'll be using when you are sure about the position of the text to be replaced. For example, if I want to replace the country code with 4 times X of all the countries, so I will go with replace. But if I just want to replace the particular country code with 4 times X, let's say Canada, so I will go with substitute because I am sure about the text to be replaced. Clear, Vidhi?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes or no?
Yes, yes.
पूरा क्लियर नहीं हो रहा मतलब
Okay, I am telling you, replace all the country codes with 4 times x. What will you use?
all में we are using replace only ना
We are using replace, but why we are using replace? Why we are using replace?
बिकॉज द कंट्री कोड इज नॉट स्पेसिफाइड कि किस कंट्री कोड को करना है, हमें बोला है कि जो भी कंट्री कोड है उसको रिप्लेस कर दो।
Correct. So we are
मतलब
sure about the
जो भी
position.
कंट्री कोड्स हैं, हाँ जी,
Position यहाँ पे specified है कि first 2 characters of all the text. So I'll go with replace if I'm sure about the of a particular text to be replaced. Let's say Canada का country code replace करना है, तो I will go with substitute. I hope it's clear now.
एक बार ही रिप्लेस ये इस पे फॉर्मूला रिप्लेस वाला फॉर्मूला पे क्लिक करेंगे प्लीज। तो ये रिप्लेस में हमने वैल्यू सेलेक्ट की
Yeah.
बी
Starting
241
position.
फर्स्ट से लेकर के 2 कैरेक्टर्स।
Correct.
ठीक है, गॉट इट। और अगर हमें जैसे बीच के चेंज करने हैं तो हम स्टार्टिंग
Starting
पोजीशन में क्या
position change.
लेंगे?
So it will start with 4. 4 and number of characters will be 4.
This will also count the spaces, right? If there's a space, so that will be a
Yes. That will be counted.
thing.
ओके, सो
टेक्स्ट तो मेंशन नहीं कर रहा।
हाँ
सब्स्टिट्यूट में मैंने मेंशन किया है कि जहां जहां पे सीए है सिर्फ उसको रिप्लेस करो, तो ये
अच्छा,
क्यों रिप्लेस
उसको
होगा?
बस रिप्लेस करना है एक्स से।
करेक्ट।
ओके ओके ओके, गेट इट।
So find, substitute and replace also done. Replace and substitute done. Find and search will do, but before that, let's take up this left, right, mid. Now I'm taking over here. Let's say again same Australia and comma, and I'm taking space Sydney. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to get I want to extract the, let's say, country and state separately. Sydney in a different cell and Australia in a different cell or a different column. So what left function will do is it will start extracting from the left hand side. Right function will start extracting from the right hand side, and mid function anywhere in between you can start. Okay. Okay. Now tell me. I'll say I want Australia, so I will say left. So this is my text. If I have an optional argument after that, which is what? Number of characters. By default, it is returning me how many characters from the left hand side? 1. I want to return what? Australia. So how many characters it should return? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. Okay. 9. Clear? If now I want to have Sydney, right? This is my text. Number of characters will be six from the right hand side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I'll just give nothing, it will return me what? Y. 6 from the right hand side. Sydney. Let me copy this, paste it, comma, space, and I should say, let's say, Waterloo, for example, some university name. Now I want to extract this university name. So I'll use what? Mid function, because this text is in the middle. So I will say mid. This is my text. Then it is asking me starting number, from where you want to start extracting. So what should be the, so 9, 10, 11, W is 12. From 12, how many characters I want to extract? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7.
8.
8.
8. Okay.
There, wait.
Okay, 8. Then, so this is how you are going to use these functions, but this is manually, very a lot of manual efforts. We'll make it dynamic after learning some of the functions, but this is how it's done. So you'll be using these functions to extract the text.
Sir, we use mid function by default, it will take W.
No. So if I say, I can use mid over here also, mid. This is my text. Starting number I need to define. There's no optional argument over here. You need to define everything. So 1 and number of characters, 9. But I won't recommend to do this when you are making it dynamic, because it will be very complex. Clear with left, right, mid? We'll come back to this. So this is, we have next functions that we are having is left, right, mid. I'll come back to this. Length is done. Length is done. Yeah. Find and search we are left with. Okay. Which one? Find. When we use rank, when you want to give the ranking, we haven't discussed rank. Yeah, tell me. We haven't discussed rank yet.
These are, I think these are also a part of this.
Part of this what?
These types of
X function rank. No, rank is how will you rank someone? Rank of specific word. No, that is not ideal case. Usually, if I want to rank all of you, how will I rank you? Huh? Yeah, so some value I need, na? Some numeric data I need. So rank is for numeric data. Using that data, I can rank you guys, but not just with your names. If I do not have any numeric data.
Yeah, when we are trying to get some data,
Sir,
so have a,
1 minute, just a second, guys. Yeah.
then you will.
When you want to, what? Rank is for ranking. Like if I want to know top 5, top 10, so which person is getting what rank on the basis of the sales. So then I will use ranking. Okay. Yeah, from the online.
सर जो हम लोग मैक्स वैल्यू और सबसे वो क्या कहते हैं लोअर वैल्यू निकाल रहे थे, राइट? तो उस समय मेरे माइंड में ये डाउट आया था कि हम लोग रैंक नहीं निकाल सकते वैसे ही, उसमें क्या प्रॉब्लम, ज्यादा डिफरेंस आएगा क्या जब आप रैंक निकालोगे?
Okay. So
Higher value or
large
lower value?
and small, you are saying, right?
Yeah.
So it will return you the value. It won't return you the rank, first of all. When I'm using large or small, it is returning me the value, not the rank.
सर जैसे आपने किया था 1
And how will, okay, and this thing, I need to specify it manually. The rank is a different scenario. It's dynamic. You just need to give the range. You need to give the cell value address, and it will give you the ranking for each and every cell. But how will you give the rank, get the ranking, and get the ranking from small and large function? Because idly it is returning you the value based on what you are giving as the input. If you are saying ki third largest value or third smallest value, it will give you that. You cannot get the ranking done using this function, large or small. You can just use this as a cutoff. Balmeet, clear?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so back to find. So again, same example I'm taking. Now I'm telling you, find the position of comma. Question is, why I'm finding the position of comma over here and not some A or S or Y or D?
Because comma, if there are multiple names and
Yeah, because I'm
like the
trying to
comma will be the
correct.
common
I'm
factor.
I'm trying to identify some pattern over here. It can be comma or space. So if we'll say A, so A may repeat, A may come like A will come at the starting, then at the end, or somewhere in between. So that's not a correct approach, right? But let's just forget this thing. Just let's say I just want to find the position of comma. So that what find function does, returns the position of the character. Or I should say returns the position. Okay. It will return me the position. What is the position of comma? 10. So I'll say find. Now it is asking me, what do you want to find? I want to find what? Comma. So comma will come in double quotes because it's a text. In which text you want to find? This one. I got the position of the comma. Okay. Now a bit more advanced. Now I'm telling you, let's say comma space again. I'm saying Waterloo. Now I am telling you to find the position of second comma.
You can start doesn't take the required position of the after from the comma, then we will specify the 11th position. And from 11th, it will take out the section comma.
Okay. So if I'll say find, I'm saying find text. Find what? Comma. Okay. Within this text. If I do this, what will happen? First comma. Okay.
Then
Then
we will jump to the next one.
yeah. So it is saying starting number, right? So
Mm.
starting number, let's say I am giving as 10. 10 is what?
First comma.
Position of first comma. So I'm saying the starting position is 10. What will I get in the output? Yeah, because what is happening is I am saying the starting position is 10. Now the find function is able to find the comma in the starting position only. So it will return me what? 10. If I want to find the position of second comma, then I need to skip what? First comma. First comma की position क्या है? 10 है. So I need to skip it. So it will be what? 11. Now it will start from space and will search the comma, next comma. So it will return me 18. Like this, you can find the position of the third comma, fourth comma. Clear? Okay. But this is not dynamic. Is it dynamic? No, right?
No.
Because if I add, let's say, one more space over here. So now it is dynamic, not over here. 1 second. Let's let me add one more space.
So it will be dynamic for this particular name, but if we'll add more names, then it will not be the same.
No, let me add over here. Let's say A and A. Or let me
No,
add
it's
space
not.
over here. Now it is returning me what? Position of.
11th.
So it's not dynamic. Because if
No.
this text length will change, then it won't return me the correct output. Because I have just done it manually. Okay. So what I'll do is this is find. Okay, let's do this thing only. How can I make it dynamic?
By using one more find out function.
Correct. Find within a find. See what find function does. Find function आपको एक position return करता है, एक integer value return करता है. What I'm saying is ये जो मैंने 11 यहाँ पे manually enter किया है, I want to get this using the find function. Correct. So I will say find what text I want to find, comma. In which text? This one. Starting number. Find again,
Find again.
comma. In which text? This one. Done.
So,
Correct? But ये तो 10 return कर रहा है.
I think it should be 2
Plus one.
at the end.
Plus one.
Plus 1 या 2.
Correct. ये जो find है starting number में from where you want to start, ये position क्या return कर रहा है? 10 कर रहा है. मेरे को skip करना है ना first comma. So I will do what? Plus 1. Right? It will now the position of the first comma. This will return me what? 11. Then it will skip the first comma. Outer find will next then search for the next comma. So now it is dynamic. Now it doesn't matter what I change over here. Let's say if I even if I add space, this is correct, but this is not, because this is getting changed on the basis of the comma position. Clear? Okay. The next thing we have is search function. So search and find are same, exactly same. Not exactly same. The only difference between search and find is that I should say, let's say if I take Australia, and if I'm saying Australia,
Case sensitive.
yes.
Yeah.
So if I
It is
use,
case
let's say,
sensitive.
find over here, and I'll use search over here. So if I say equals to find, and I'm saying find what? Small a within this text, or let's say, let me say capital A within this text. There is capital A, right? That is what it is able to find. And if I say search, find text, I want to find capital A. And in this text, what the difference?
Search is not case sensitive. Find is.
Correct. So
Yeah.
again, let me do this. Find capital A within text, this one. search small a in this text, or I should say small a. What the difference?
Find is not case sensitive.
Yes.
Find
Is case sensitive
case sensitive
and search is not case sensitive.
and search is case insensitive. Okay, that's the first difference. Second difference is you can use wildcards in search. You remember wildcards, question mark, asterisk? Can use wildcards in search. Okay, so try using wildcard through search. This is one thing what you need to do in today's homework. Let me write. What you need to attempt for today? Try using wildcard in search. That is, try to get the position of the, I should say, get the position of the text, right? Second, okay, extract the text dynamically using left, right, mid, length, mid, in combination. I'm also giving you the hint with length, find. Okay, so what you need to do is, let me tell you. For example, you guys need to tell me the difference between find and search, except that it is case sensitive or insensitive. That is the first thing. Second thing you need to tell me is, how can I extract these dynamically? When I say dynamically, let's say I gave these numbers manually. These numbers should not be given manually. These numbers should come out using some functions. Whatever you want to do, you have to do that. Whatever logic you need to define, just get this thing dynamically. Clear? So these two are the things that you need to attempt for today. Okay. Any queries till this point? Yeah. Yeah. 11th position. So when you